day of silence, a fucking strike. A strike.
Yo, Iceland did this shit in the 70s and it worked. And it only took a day. Pause to read. This only took 24 hours. And we're women, especially the black and brown ones. If we could just rally together for a smooth 7 to 10 business days, I guarantee you the economy, the nation would crumble in 72 hours. That's all we need. Mother's Day is day one. Everybody that has a uterus and every ally, stay the fuck at home. Keep the kids. Don't go to work. Don't go to the bank. Don't go to Fridays, McDonald's, nothing. Don't do shit. Don't fuck your husbands. Don't clock in. Don't go to class. Nothing. This would be easy, petty, and fun.
If you're a woman with conservative parents, call them today and tell them you're pregnant. Post it here on TikTok and maybe suggest or imply that the person that got you pregnant has a ethnic name, we'll say, and post their response. Post the entire conversation right here on TikTok. See what they say and see how they react. I'm very curious.
I don't think pro-life people actually think it's murder either. I don't. I think it's a disingenuous argument. Because if you really thought murder was happening at an abortion clinic, I feel like just protesting outside is kind of a lame, shitty response. You should be doing a lot more if you really think it's murder. Like if I was walking down the street and someone was just strangling someone to death, and my response was to just take out a sign, just wave it at the murderer's head. Don't do it! You have other options! I know this seems like the only choice, but trust me, you're gonna regret it!
You can do it too, believe it. I've been a doctor, sexing her.
Just a quick reminder that Republican states in America now have stricter abortion laws than even the Taliban. Even the Taliban will allow abortion in case of rape, incest, if the mother is dying, and up to 40 to 120 days, depending on the sect.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question. But
Male versus female.
there are medical procedures.
Okay. That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body?
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I would never have an abortion. What if you didn't have a choice? No, I said I would never have an abortion. Right, and that's a choice. So what if the government said to you, you're not an optimal candidate, and we're going to force you to have an abortion, and not only that, we're going to sterilize you so you don't run into this again. You're just trying to use scare tactics. That would never happen. But it does happen. And the problem is that when white women are confronted with the reality that this does happen, pretend it's some sort of fictional dystopia, because the reality is, deep down, you think it's not going to happen to us.
You want to regulate women's bodies? We're going to regulate men's bodies too, because I know more than a few of you who's long overdue for a forced vasectomy. You can keep your balls, you just can't weaponize them.
Get up, cocksuckers, it's all over. Listen, we had a rough couple of months. Katrina's cousin Maria, the other one, Puerto Rico, Houston, Florida.
Sometimes there's like a pro-life truck that drives around my neighborhood with big pictures of aborted fetuses on the side of it. Dude, and they have a megaphone. They like to go, "All liberals will burn in hell." This is the only way I figured out how to get them out of the neighborhood. If they ever come to your neighborhood, and this is terrible, but just go up to that truck and pretend you think it's a food truck. Because they hate that. They absolutely, you got the, yeah, can I get the baby back ribs? And then what you do, you pull out a bib of a baby with a spork in it, and it says, "I'm pro-lunch." And they hate that.
I'm pro-life. I want to get rid of abortion. Oh my gosh, awesome. I'm pro-choice and I would also love to see the rates of abortion come down. What are we doing? I want to make abortions illegal in every single circumstance. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of studies have actually shown that stricter abortion laws have actually led to increased rates of abortion instead of reduced. Well, I just can't support murdering babies. No, of course not. I don't think anyone can support murdering babies. So I think it would be a lot better to put in a lot of upfront work, you know, like comprehensive sex education, accessible and affordable birth control, these things that would stop unwanted and unplanned pregnancies, and then the abortion rate would just whoop with it, you know? I don't want my tax dollars going to birth control, and I do not want my kids to learn about sex in school. That's also interesting because programs and initiatives like that have shown a reduction in abortion rates, which I thought was your goal. We just gotta outlaw them. But if outlawing it doesn't work that well and there are other initiatives that we could take and your end goal is to reduce abortion, wouldn't you want to do that? Yeah, I'm just pro-life because defending a fetus is easy. It requires nothing from me. There it is.
And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head up.
How's my body being banned before a gun in someone's hand? I'll never understand how someone's pro-life all the way, but they remain pro-NRA. I'll never understand. I'll never understand how someone's pro-life all the way, but they remain pro-NRA. I'll never understand. How's my body being banned before a gun in someone's hand? I'll never understand how someone's pro-life all the way, but they remain pro-NRA. I'll never understand. How's my body being banned before a gun in someone's hand? I'll never understand.
This is a 12-week-old baby. Are you still pro-choice?
He told me throw it back about. So I said,
but can we actually talk about this though? Because raise your hand if a man has ever told you that the condom was too small, so he probably shouldn't wear it. Like, they actually use it as a manipulation tactic to trick women into having sex with them unprotected. Raise your hand if you've heard the following. Oh, the condom's too small. It doesn't feel as good with it on. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. It hurts. Like, I feel like I need to take it off. And you know what's extra funny? It'd be those same type of guys who are pro-life and will literally blame women for getting pregnant, saying it's their fault.
Pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-choice.
Why?
Because everyone should have a choice for their own body. It doesn't make any sense why you would make laws on like other people's bodies.
My understanding is this bill, if it becomes law, has no rape exception. So under this bill, if a 13-year-old girl, let's say, was raped by a serial rapist, broke into her house, or maybe more likely, raped by a family member, which occurs frequently, unfortunately, this bill would require this 13-year-old to carry this felon's fetus to term, regardless of any emotional or psychological damage or trauma that may be inflicted upon this 13-year-old girl to deliver this felon's fetus. Is that right?
Through the chair. Rape is a difficult issue, and it emotionally scars the individual, all or in part, for the rest of their life, just as child abuse does. But if a baby is created, it is a human life, and whether that mother ends that pregnancy or not, the scars will not go away. Period. It is a shame that it happens, but there's an opportunity for that woman, no matter how young or old she is, to make a determination about what she's going to do to help that life be a productive human being. She can choose to raise the child. She can choose to give that child to a loving family member, or to give it to someone else. And that child can grow up and be something magnificent, a wonderful family person, cure cancer, etc. This is not about keeping abortion alive. This is about keeping the mother alive. And just because you have emotional scars doesn't give you the right to take the life.
But apparently there's no shortage of baby formula for illegal aliens.
So not even going into the fact that you're so pro-life and thinking that immigrant children deserve to starve to death, let's go ahead and look at these packages, huh? You see that formula? Nido? I just looked it up at Kroger. This exact same product is for toddlers at least 1 year of age. It is not formula and is not recommended for anybody under the age of 1 because infants don't even have the ability to digest that milk product. Instead of complaining that these babies are getting fed, we should be talking about the real problem, that infants are getting fed milk that will kill them at the border because of a milk shortage. All at the exact time that you are about to force anybody with a uterus to conceive a child, when we don't have enough milk to feed the babies who are already here. Maybe let's talk about that, you evil mother.
This is America. Don't got you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America.
But I did get an abortion when I was 15 years old. And I'm totally shook by the world right now and that we're going backwards. I cannot believe that women are possibly losing those rights and already losing those rights in some states. It's just devastating to think that we're going back. It's devastating. But I did get an abortion when I was 15 years old. And I'm totally shook by the world right now and that we're going backwards. I cannot believe that women are possibly losing those rights and already losing those rights in some states. It's just devastating.
Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you haven't? Alright, wait, bitch! I want the fade, I want the fade.
Are you protesters? You mean those dickheads with the signs of pictures of dead babies? Shit, no. Me and Silent Bob are pro-choice. Women's bodies are their own fucking business.
Hi, I'm one of those babies that you want people to give up for adoption 31 years later. Most of us adoptees unilaterally agree that abortion is a more humane option than adoption. Because the problem is when you pro-lifers get your hand on an adopted baby, a legally human trafficked one, you treat it terribly and you abuse the ever-living fuck out of it using your terrible religion. So why in the fuck should someone carry that child for that long to give it to you so that you can mistreat it and treat it like absolute garbage? The last thing a person who carries a baby and gives it up for adoption should do is ever hand it over to a pro-lifer. More importantly, you're not entitled to a baby just because you want one. Try therapy instead of purchasing a child. How about that? How about instead of buying a human, you buy therapy? Much better. Other people's infertility issues aren't other women's problems.
Oh, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Breaking my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. You up. A lot of these little bitches cool, but they be weak as fuck. Time to sweep it up, neat as fuck. My way, or the highway, my way. Turn a
This is America. Don't got you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. Why they always say congratulations. This is America. Work so hard for don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. They ain't never had look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
I saw this on Twitter and I need to share it. Women, can I have birth control? Republicans, no. Women, I couldn't get birth control, so I got pregnant. Can I have an A? Republicans, no. Women, you prevented me from having an A, so I'm carrying the fetus, but my employer won't provide reasonable accommodations and is threatening to fire me. Would you please pass the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act? Republicans, no. Women, I had the baby, but I'm out of work. Can I have WIC and food stamps until I get back on my feet? Republicans, no. Women, I found a job, but it doesn't offer me insurance. Can I have government guaranteed insurance? Republicans, no. Women, my kids got sick and I got fired because I missed time caring for them. Can I get unemployment? Republicans, no. Women, I'm having a hard time getting my kid from school consistently. Can we fund after-school programs? Republicans, no. Women, I'm prepared to work to support my family. Can you make sure that a full-time job's minimum wage is enough to do that? Republicans, no. But what's the matter with you and your family that working 2 jobs can't lift you out of poverty? And what kind of mother are you letting someone else watch your kids while you're at work? If your child doesn't do well in school or gets in trouble, it's entirely your fault. You shouldn't have had a child if you weren't prepared to take care of her. Destroying Roe v. Wade is not pro-life. It is forced birth.
Jesus, I mean that literally. Whoa, don't touch me. Don't freaking touch me. Don't touch me. Thank you. I don't want anybody touching me today.
Maybe Jesus will call on you.
Okay, I'll be waiting for him. I'll be waiting for Jesus. Woo, more men. What's up, my friends? Let's go. Arlene, nice to see you, baby. Congrats, such a great service. Such a great service. All right, my friends. So those are, that's how many people show up. Look at them fucking go. Look at them go. These mother truckers. Whew. Thank you guys all so much for the love and support that's been coming through. Any money that gets made through my TikTok goes 100% back into abortion funds. Let's go. So they're actually helping provide people with abortions today. Let's go, baby. I think we probably had about, I don't know, I feel like that's at least 100 people, if not a little bit more. And this happens every Saturday. They will just herd the clinic. You guys are the best. Security! Security! Watch out! Kennedy the clinic defender is coming! They don't like me very much, but I don't really care. So yeah, for those who are watching and don't know who I am or have not been on my live before, my name is Kennedy and I am a clinic defender. And I volunteer as part of a 501c3 nonprofit organization called Charlotte for Choice. And my job is to help allow for safe and legal access to abortion care, which are individuals' rights, legal rights. Oh, wow, you guys got a nice little step stool. Man, that's great. Are we still recording each other? Oh, honey. Honey.
Congrats, you've been tricked by the pro-life movement. They fabricated this idea that the regular abortion patient is some wild and slutty 20-something-year-old, when in reality, 60% of abortion patients are parents. When in reality, 45% of abortion patients are either married or cohabitating with a romantic partner. And are you really going to tell them not to have sex? Really? If you do, videotape it. But congratulations, you've been played.
Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own. Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No, nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're
If Greg Abbott cared about life, we wouldn't have a child protective services with 30,000 kids, many of them sleeping in CPS offices, under the tables, on the desks. We wouldn't have had 100 children in the custody and care of the state of Texas lose their lives last year because this guy is more concerned with scoring political points than helping the most vulnerable among us. If this guy really cared about the heartbeats of Texas kids, an 11-year-old in Conroe, Texas would not have died of hypothermia because this guy could not keep the lights on and the heat running in the energy capital of the world. If he cared about life, then he would have been concerned about the attack on women's rights because over the last 10 years, as almost every reproductive health care clinic has closed down in Texas, not only is it harder for women to get their constitutional access to an abortion, but try getting a cervical cancer screening, or seeing a family planning provider, or seeing a provider of any kind in the least insured state in the country. We lead the developed world in the rate of maternal mortality, 3 times as deadly for black women here in the state of Texas. This guy does not care about life. Tell that to the parents who lost their kids at Santa Fe High School. Because this guy is beholden to the NRA and to the gun lobby, not to the lives of Texas children, not to the people of this state. We have the power, and that power comes through our vote.
I saw a really good point being made that I've never heard of, and I've never seen this perspective, even though I am to my core pro-choice. This is a comparison I've never heard, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. Nobody has the right to use your body to save another human being's life, a child, an adult, whoever. The most amazing person in the world, nobody can force you to save their life. You know, something that is so simple that could save a lot of lives that a lot of people don't do is donating blood. But nobody is forced to do that. Why are we holding people with uteruses accountable for saving the life of a fetus when we don't even hold other human beings accountable for saving multiple lives? A lot of people are okay with putting someone through a pregnancy which could affect their health for the rest of their lives, but they're not okay with sitting down, getting a needle in the arm, and possibly saving multiple lives because they're scared of a needle. But when someone is terrified of pregnancy and what it will do to them or the future of that child, we force them to have that baby. I will say it till I'm blue in the fucking face. Y'all are pro-birth, not pro-life. You could be saving babies, mothers that just gave birth, children that just got in car accidents by donating consistently throughout the year. But you'll most likely do it once every 5 years if you're feeling like it. If you cherish a fetus more than you do actual living, breathing human beings on this earth, you're a piece of fucking garbage. Anyway, let's go donate some blood. Okay, so while I was in there, I decided to do a little thing. It's Monday, so if you donate blood at any point this week, take a sneaky little picture of you doing it, a selfie, whatever you're feeling. Post it on your Instagram story and tag me in it. If only a few people do it, I'll send each and every one of you a Starbucks gift card, or Dunkin' if you prefer, or CC's if you're in Louisiana. If a lot do it, then I'll select a few. You got this, bitch. Be pro-life for the people that are already here on this earth.
Do you support the overturning of Roe v. Wade?
I don't like to lie, so I'm just going to say this. I don't know what the hell that is. Do you mind elaborating what that means?
I would love to elaborate. So,
okay, I have a few things I want to say then. I hate being told what to do. Like, I really do. I feel like there's a lot of things in this society that, like, I am told to do, I listen and I do, but, like, when it comes to my body, there's things that no one can ever tell me what to do about my body. And I feel like if, you know, you have other people telling you what you can do, what you should do, what you're not allowed to do, and that what you'll be consequenced for by, you know, just literally, like, living your life, I think that's kind of shit. I do. I think that's dumb. If you want to do something, whatever it may be with your body, I think you have that right.
I don't get all this your body, your choice nonsense. That baby needs your body to survive, so it shouldn't be your choice. Okay, give me your kidney. What? Well, my buddy's third cousin Mark needs a kidney, and you have one you're not sharing with the class. So, gimme that sweet, sweet kidney. Well, I don't want to. Well, according to your beliefs, you can't say no, and actually you want the government to make laws forcing you to give up your kidney. No, that's different, because without that uterus, that fetus wouldn't survive. And without your kidney, Cousin Mark won't survive. So, well, I don't know Cousin Mark. And I don't know the fetus you want me to carry for 9 months. But that's dangerous. What if something goes wrong? Yeah, so is pregnancy. There's like an infinite number of complications that can occur at any point. No, but it's not fair, because it's my kidney, and I should decide what to do with it. So since it's an organ inside your body, you should get a choice. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I don't get.
Funny. Yes, but not funny, haha. Funny, weird.
I personally don't think women should be able to vote.
So out of pure curiosity, I decided to go on Etsy and look up pro-life versus pro-choice shirts that, you know, people make on their little crickets. Guns don't kill people, abortions do. It's just not true. Pro-God, pro-life, pro-gun, pro-USA. Do you remember it? Save the babies. How about you go save the babies that are in foster care? That's a really good idea. This one is just women's rights begin in the womb. We don't have rights. We don't have rights anymore. Pro-woman, pro-baby, pro-life. And then these are the pro-choice ones. I'm literally crying. And these ones are just, like, these ones make sense. The other ones are just trying to provoke an argument. Sugar and spice and reproductive rights. Mind your own uterus. If my uterus shot bullets, would you stop regulating it? I want to see the pro-choice and the pro-life people wearing these shirts and dueling it out. That's just a fact. Girls just want to have fundamental rights. That's it.
I'm finally ready to talk about this. My wife Sarah has cancer. About 2 months ago, we received the worst news in the world and also the happiest news in the world. The happy news was that we have a baby girl on the way and she's healthy. The bad news is that my wife has cervical cancer. Cervical cancer during a pregnancy can't be operated on. So basically, the cancer gets to grow while you're pregnant, and you really can't do anything about it. And that also carries with it increased risks of bleeding and hemorrhaging. And here in the state of Texas, at beyond 6 weeks, your termination options, even to save the life of the mother, are very limited. I did the math. The nearest clinic that could save my wife's life, if she needed immediate care, is 6 hours at 110 miles an hour away. I want a daughter more than anything in the world, but not at the expense of losing my wife. Texas, overturn the 6-week abortion ban.
I guess it's true that some people really gotta fight to survive, and some people are white guys in 1985.
There is no nice way to say this. America has regressed and is now actively waging war on women and anybody who can get pregnant. People are going to die because of this, and the only way we can survive is to band together. Let your friends and family know that if they do not have access, you will pay for them to go out of state to access care. Let them know in person, not over the phone, not over messaging apps. There are laws coming through where you can be charged if you even suggest to someone how they might obtain an abortion. Literally start putting money aside for that reason. You can also donate to abortion funds. But I know as humans, we are often motivated to help those closest to us. I would not count on having access to birth control in the future. If if you are even 80% sure that you do not want to get pregnant, start the process to get your tubes removed. I know it's a drastic step and not all doctors will do it, but we are left with few options. There are lists of doctors online who will do it, and I told my doctor that I had a history of suicidal ideation and that I had plans to kill myself if I ever became pregnant and could not access care. You can try that one. The Mirena IUD also has been proved to last for 7 years. I wish I had more advice. Do what you can to keep yourself safe, and then do what you can to keep others around you safe as well. That's literally the only way we survive this, is to help each other.
This is how I know that you forced birthers are not paying attention. No exceptions means no exceptions, regardless if the abortion will save someone's life. Ectopic pregnancy? Too bad. Go home. We can't do anything for you. You get pregnant. You make it to your 20-week ultrasound. You discover that your loved and wanted pregnancy is no longer compatible with life. Too fucking bad. You have to carry that fetus to term even though you know it's not gonna make it. Rape or incest? Carry that fetus to term. We don't care if you're 10 years old. Brittany Pula, have you heard of her? Google her. She's sitting in jail right now for a miscarriage because somebody accused her of causing the miscarriage. When a fetus is removed from a human body, it is reported as an abortion. It doesn't matter if it's a life-saving medical procedure. You've got 3 kids at home. You get pregnant again. You wanted that pregnancy. And then you miscarry, and your body doesn't fully evacuate that fetus. You now have an unalived fetus in your body. Doesn't matter if you're going to unalive from sepsis. It's still considered an abortion for them to help you. They will send you home. Millions of Americans are no longer going to have access to life-saving medical procedures. You are the poster child for what privilege looks like.
I have a 43-year-old brother who's never spoken a word or taken a step in his entire life. He was my parents' first child, born just a little bit early in 1978. My parents started to figure out pretty quick that there was something developmentally wrong with my brother. He couldn't pick his head up, wasn't learning to roll over or crawl. So when he was about 10 months old, they took him to a child development specialist in Louisville and had tests run. The team of doctors told my parents that my brother had a severe case of cerebral palsy, that he would never walk or talk, and the best thing they could do was put him in an institution and forget he was ever born. Today, 43 years later, my brother didn't wake up in an institution. My dad went and picked him up from his bed in his bedroom and carried him to the living room couch. My mom fed him his daily morning bowl of oatmeal and gave him his insulin shot and a fresh diaper change. Probably sang him a few ditties and whispered a couple things in his ear, made him smile. And Dad's probably carried him back to his room so he can take a nap. Now I could put this on Facebook and everybody back home would jump all in the comments and say, "Your parents are the greatest people. I don't know how they've done this all these years." From their 20s all the way into their retirement, they've done so good at taking care of your brother. And they'll talk about how there are so few people who could ever do that, or how they themselves could never have done that. But the same people who know without a doubt that not everyone could do what my parents have done will then look at parents who just found out that if their child is born, they will have that same life ahead of them and say, "You gotta have it."
Huh? They don't care about your signs, slogans, or chants. Fuck up the economy.
Young Soldier is right. Fuck up the economy. Listen, protesting, marching, we've been doing that for decades. They're not listening. This is all about capitalism. They need workers. Women have to have babies. So if this is about money, we need to fuck up the money. This is how. And it can't be one of those things, nobody shops on August 2nd. No. There needs to be no beginning that they see coming and no ending ever in sight. We start by bartering, going back to the basics. They trying to take us back? Let's go back. Bartering. You don't want your dollar out there in the economy, so no money spent unless necessary. Grow your own fruits and vegetables, and if you don't grow them, barter with your neighbors or your friends and exchange vegetables and help each other out, or buy from local farmers. Keep your dollars right there. Also, go to work. Everybody go to work. Make all the money. We're going to make it and we're going to keep it and we're not going to spend it. We're going to keep it and we're going to invest it. We're not going to put it back out. That means carpool to work, public transportation, whatever you can do to stop buying gas. If we can get 4 people in a car, 3 people in a car, that cuts down on the amount of gas and oil sold. Carpool, go outside, and when you do, turn the air down, turn your utilities down, go outside, enjoy yourself. If you have to have meat and you know somebody local that's growing meat, we've got butchers and farmers here that are local, that are not in the grocery stores. The point is to stay out of the markets. No Amazon, no Kroger, no Piggly Wiggly, no Aldi, no nothing, because we hitting them in the pocket. So if we gotta go local, then we will go local. No clubs, no bars. Black folks, you know what I mean. Friday nights, we at cousin's house, fish fry. Saturday, card game. Sunday, church. We ain't going to the movies. We're not going to the club. Club is at our house. Card games is at the house. Everything is at the house. We can do church, but that's it. No going out, no movies, no recreation, no sports events. We can do this for at least a week, but we can't let them know when it's going to end. But trust, if we get to 1 to 2 weeks, they're going to ask us what we want. This is us against them. You want them to stop the bullshit they're doing up in DC, then we need to stop putting money out there that they can get their hands on. Boycott the economy.
It's out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together.
Are you guys pro-life or pro-choice?
It's just my brother.
What do you mean?
No, it's just pro-life.
Pro-life or pro-choice?
What do you mean?
In what way?
Oh, pro-abortion.
You're pro-abortion?
Not pro-abortion, but for people to make the choice.
Pro-choice, yeah. Yeah, because it's honestly, it's like, you can bring the babies into the world, but it's like, who's gonna take care of them, you know? I'd rather them be dead than like suffering in life.
Hi, I'm just here to let you know that we're going to be taking away all animal control services, and if an animal ends up on your property, you're going to have to take care of it as your pet. But I don't want a pet, and I can't afford a pet. I have to work all day just to support myself, so I won't even be home to take care of it. Sounds like a personal problem. But I have severe mental health issues and drug problems, so I'd make a horrible pet owner. Girl, I do not care. But I do not want a pet. Well, then you should install fencing and make sure that animals can't get on your property. Right, even taking all the possible precautions I could, there's still not a 100% chance that I won't get an animal on my property. Well, if you do get an animal on your property, you're gonna have to keep it as a pet. What if someone forces an animal on my property without my consent? It's still on your property. Okay, well, if you're gonna make this a law, then you're at least going to make fencing and other precautions easily accessible for people so that they don't end up with animals on their property, right? No, we're actually thinking of putting restrictions on those. Okay, well then you're at least going to educate kids in school so that they know how to properly secure their property without an animal ending up on it. No, we're making that illegal. Okay, but some people don't want pets. Then they can give them to shelters. Alright, if we give them to shelters, then they're going to be ensured a happy, healthy, secure, unabused life, right? Maybe. It's like luck of the draw. Okay, well then, if I'm forced to have a pet, you'll at least help pay for people to take care of it while I'm at work, right? Out of my tax dollars? Well then, when I have to work a part-time job instead of a full-time job so I can be home to take care of it, you'll pay what I'm missing, right? No. Well then, if an animal ends up on my property, I'm just going to go to a state where they have animal control services. Well, if you're able to do that, you better hope we don't track you, because then we'll charge you with animal cruelty. Fine, then I'll just try and get rid of it myself. Well, if you don't kill yourself in the process of doing that, then if you end up going to a hospital with an injury related to it, we'll still charge you. Okay, well, what if an animal dies on my property before I make it a pet without me meaning to kill it? We'll still charge you, but I can't control that. No, we don't care. Okay, well, after you force me to keep it as a pet, you'll at least pay for rehabilitative services after I don't properly take care of it because I never wanted it in the first place, right? Oh, once it's your pet, we do not give a fuck.
It's out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together.
Quick PSA to anybody that happens to have a uterus and is on team fuck them kids. Abortions are protected under religious rights if you're a part of the Satanic Temple.
I'm a street nigga, so it's fuck the law. If you broke nigga, that should be against the law. Got gospel that nigga, news reporter.
Pro-choice, pro-life.
Oh, I'm not getting into that.
Pro-choice or pro-life?
What is that?
Like, you for abortion or against it?
I'm with it, I think. I don't know.
You're with abortion? Why?
I may be without it.
It's murder, dude.
I don't know.
Pro-choice. The world already got enough kids that ain't being sought after.
I'm pro-choice, man.
Pro-choice, man.
I don't know the
Everybody,
difference.
man, everybody make their own choice in their own life.
Yeah. They could choose to be pro-life.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
Okay, I get it. Pro-choice.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
Individualism, specifically American individualism. Everything that we've been fed our entire lives has been told that we have to be special in order to be worth something. In order to be special, you have to be better than other people. In order to be better, you have to be different. In order to be different, you have to be separate. To be separate is to be disconnected. When you convince an entire population that they are unlike their neighbor for any reason, you divide the population. A divided population is so much easier to control because they'll do all the fighting for you. And that's kind of what I hate about identity politics. Because in reality, it doesn't really matter if you're white or black or gay. And like systemically, yes, it matters. But when it comes to the big picture, the real thing keeping someone down, keeping people miserable, isn't the rural white guy who grew up poor and wasn't able to get an education. It's not the immigrant fleeing war who came in and took their job. No, it's the oligarchs, the ruling class, the politicians, the rich, like generational wealth rich. I mean the families with unfathomable amounts of money. The last names we are so familiar with. Reagan, Clinton, all those fucking people. The Democrats and the Republicans, they're the same fucking thing. And they have done such a good job at convincing the public that they're on your side, whichever side you're on, when they don't give a fuck about you. Because they're all friends, because they're all part of the ruling class. Why do you think other countries are so much better at protesting than us? All the fighting that we would normally do against the government, we're just doing against each other. And they are so fucking terrified of us figuring that out. And so they'll constantly peddle, they'll constantly tell us to vote. If your form of protest is acceptable to your oppressor, it's not a protest. They're fucking lying to you. Your enemy is not your neighbor who came from somewhere else, who looks differently than you, who speaks another language. Your enemy is the one who makes up rules to make your life worse and their life better so they can keep their wealth. And they are terrified of you.
You're not very pretty, and you're not very bright. I'm so glad we had that talk.
Are you protesters? You mean those dickheads with the signs of pictures of dead babies? Shit, no. Me and South Bob are pro-choice. Women's bodies are own fucking business.
It's out on a terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together. It's out on a terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together.
So apparently the 3rd through the 5th, a bunch of women are going to be basically cutting off the economy. We are not spending anything. We are not going anywhere. We are not doing anything. I'm not celebrating the 4th of July because the 4th of July is a holiday that really represents the freedom here in the United States that we are supposed to have. But women don't have that freedom. Instead, the 3rd through the 5th, I will be doing nothing, spending nothing, and shrouding myself in black. Black for RBG. Black because I am in mourning for the loss of our rights, for the loss of body autonomy. This doesn't need to go viral, but I urge you to spread the word, and I urge you to participate.
Oh, curva. Oh, curva.
In 2019, I had an abortion, and we're going to talk about it. My husband and I had been trying for a while. It was our first pregnancy. We were so excited. I called the doctor damn near immediately. Unfortunately, the doctor couldn't see me immediately. They couldn't see me until 4 weeks later, when I would be 10 weeks pregnant. But that was fine with us, not a care in the world. We were having our baby. So we were a little taken aback at the doctor's appointment when they said they couldn't see everything they needed to see. But they reassured me everything was fine. It was probably nothing. I was probably just not as far along as I thought I was. I'd come back in 2 weeks and everything would be great. So then 2 weeks later, when I was 12 weeks pregnant, we received the devastating news that it was not a viable pregnancy. I was given 3 options. I could take Cytotec to force my body to miscarry. I could go ahead and just schedule a D&C, or I could wait and see if my body would expel it naturally before I develop sepsis. Now I want to pause and break some of that down with you. The state that I live in is planning on implementing a 6-week abortion ban. And I don't know how common knowledge this is because I didn't know until I got pregnant, but gestational age is based on the start date of your last period, right? And ovulation, and therefore conception, doesn't happen until about 2 weeks after the start date of your last period. So by the time you ovulate and conceive, you're already 2 weeks pregnant based on the start date of your last period, which is again how they determine gestational age. Your period usually starts 2 weeks after ovulation. So 4 weeks after the start date of your last period should be the start date of your next period, which is then when you would miss a period and learn, oh, I'm pregnant. So most people aren't finding out that they're pregnant until they're already 4 weeks pregnant. In a state with a 6-week abortion ban, you have 2 weeks to get it done. But my doctor couldn't see me within 2 weeks. And even at 10 weeks, with ultrasounds and heart rate monitors, my doctor still couldn't determine the viability of that pregnancy. If I got pregnant under those same exact circumstances today, I would have one option: wait and hope that my body expels naturally before I develop sepsis. Except now, if I develop sepsis, it'd be much harder to receive treatment because any treatment would require performing an abortion. And every time I've ever told anyone this story, they say, oh, well, that wouldn't count. That would be an exception. Which is really why I don't even like to share my story. I don't believe in exceptions. Abortion is healthcare, period. But a lot of y'all seem to believe in exceptions. And the reality is, Roe protected those exceptions. There are 0 protected exceptions now. Even if you are in a safe state or a safer state, nothing is guaranteed now. If you are someone who believes in exceptions for abortion, if you genuinely believe that sometimes it is okay, you are pro-choice. And you need to start voting like it.
We need to protect any child from having me as a mother. I'm incredibly unfit to be a mom. I don't plan to have children. Not now, but later. Ever. No, but you're gonna be a great mother. No, I won't. Growing up with emotionally immature parents, not to their own fault, I understand the pain and the trauma it could cause on a child. Gaping wounds that I still have to heal from. Oh, but you're not your parents. You have awareness. Having awareness is one thing. I am their split image when it comes to emotional dysregulation, the meltdown, the temper tantrum. And it's incredibly irresponsible given this current ongoing battle with my mental health to actually bring to earth a child. But God forbid if I ever get pregnant. Adoption is always an option. Yes, that is an option. But what do you think are the odds of me surviving postpartum depression? When it affects 1 in 7 women, and given my genetic predisposition, my severity of my current disease. But life should be celebrated and protected, mine and any child included.
This message lasts 2 minutes.
This is for Rachel, you big, fat, white, nasty, smelling, fat bitch.
That argument actually makes a lot of sense. Like, why should there be one abortion law for the entire country? I mean, people in Alabama and people in California have very different views on this, so maybe it should be different in different states. Although, when you think about it, there are also differences in different parts of each state. So really, the law should be like by county, you know what I mean? That would be better. They should say like red counties in a blue state can ban abortion, but blue counties in a red state can allow abortion. I mean, that seems fair, right? It's up to the states, but make it up to the county. Well, except actually sometimes you have urban and rural areas sharing a county, so maybe it should be at the level of the city or the town. Yeah, no, wait. What if each house, oh yes, each house could have its own rule. Yeah, this makes sense, right? Because the neighbors, they don't always agree with each other, but in the house, within the house, people have different opinions. You know what? What if...
Don't gravitate to the love, y'all. Killing people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. When you practice what you preach and what you turn it.
This issue is not about baby killing, y'all. That's something many states do once the baby comes out with all their education budget cuts, lack of foster care funding, and making sure our prisons are filled with brown-eyed and dark-skinned kids. They stand behind their actions by claiming they are here to enact the will of God. What soot must be in your souls, congressman, to taint such bright a light? I swear, whatever God is behind you, I will run the other way. A woman's body is not a state's right. The floor of the Senate is not a place to be given a gynecological exam. You don't know what kind of fear and shame can come with such a body already. You wouldn't know what invasion of privacy it is to have your cervix scraped. If you listened to any of the testimonies, you'd know that a woman's body is not some sort of mechanical machine that shuts down when she is raped. We are not wind-up dolls, gentlemen. You don't let the jack out of the box and we ain't getting back in it. Some people must wonder what your mothers must have done to you. I'd rather ask what sort of examples your fathers must have set to make you think that women are nothing more but flies to be swatted at. A woman's body is more important than a political power struggle between two parties. People don't show up at abortion clinics with ice cream cake or birthday candles. Sometimes they come, barely 13, with sunken shoulders and tear-stained cheeks, wanting a hand to hold and leave wishing there were instructions on how to shed the guilt and the shame. With so much talk about the sanctity of life, it's a wonder how the mother doesn't ever get mentioned unless when she's being called a sinner or a whore. We are not here to ask permission what we can do with our bodies. We're here to tell you.
The responsibility of pregnancy prevention is currently equal between men and women.
Other than in cases of rape or incest, I believe that pregnancy prevention is equal because we enter into sexual intimacy both willingly.
Yeah, I agree with that. It takes two people to make those choices, whether it's abstinence, whether it's using contraceptives.
Consent is what I think where prevention starts.
Okay, I'll admit it. As a guy, it is easier for us. I mean, even if there is a birth control pill, culturally today, we're not taking that. We're not gonna snip, and you know, it's easier, sorry.
No, I agree. They always push it towards women if you don't want to get pregnant. Yes, there are condoms out there for men to prevent pregnancy. However, it's not, nobody wears it. Yeah, that's true.
In my
I won't say nobody.
Some people
right.
In my
But I
experience,
understand then, yes.
men don't want to.
Right.
And they've also tried to come up with, you know, various different birth control methods for men.
Like, no way.
No, and
They
that's
don't
the
want it.
overwhelming response. There's so many side effects. There's the possibility of this and that. And, you know, I've had a friend that had a stroke because of her birth control. You know, and I think that it's really unfair that that responsibility is solely being placed on women.
Well, and also if it's gonna be solely on me to prevent, then it is solely on me to make a choice thereafter.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying, but these conversations need to be said before any action is done for both people to understand that they are both responsible for this.
I agree with you. And one of the things that I always think about in the conversation of abortion is education, right? And the education around our bodies, or just consent, right? Or just rape. All of these things are not conversations that are widely happening. I think about my own experience of sex ed in high school was taught by the gym teacher who was also teaching us driver's training.
Little
right?
funding there.
And so I think about what was the quality of the educational experience I got. And typically in my partnerships, I am the first person that my partner has encountered that is willing and able to have a conversation about sex, about birth control, about all of these things. So it's interesting that we're like, we should be having these conversations, but people don't have the emotional intelligence to be having these conversations or the emotional maturity, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality, right? And so it does leave the onus on the person who is gonna be most impacted, which in this case would be women.
Today is it's not hyperbole to suggest a very solemn moment. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States expressly took away a constitutional right from the American people that it had already recognized. They didn't limit it, they simply took it away. That's never been done to a right so important to so many Americans, but they did it. It's a sad day for the court and for the country.
Hey Bailey, let's spell it out really simply so that you can understand. Her body, her choice. I was raped when I was 18 years old and I had a pregnancy that resulted from that rape. I grew up my whole life fed pro-life propaganda, religious propaganda. But when it came down to it, I am so happy I had the choice when I decided to terminate that pregnancy. And it has now led me today as the woman I am, as the pro-choice advocate that I am for women. I chose to terminate that pregnancy. I do not regret it. I would never have met my husband. I would never have joined the Marine Corps. I would have had to live with the memory of my rapist every single day. People like me will not judge them regardless. People like you support legislation that would take away our choice. No one gets abortions for fun. You never know what someone is going through and why they made the educated decision to terminate that pregnancy. If you are pro-life, in my eyes, you are only pro-birth. You care nothing for what happens to the child after it leaves the mother. You care nothing for the women and their mental health. You care nothing about helping them financially if the woman decides to keep the child. You only care that they are born. I've had miscarriages as well. I'm currently pregnant, and no matter what happens, I will still 100,000% be pro-choice. I would never want to take that choice away from another woman, ever.
I'm pro-life for myself, but pro-choice for everyone else. What does that mean? Well, it means I will never get an abortion, but I'm not going to tell anyone else what to do with their bodies. So that's why I'm pro-life for myself. Oh, well, one of the choices in pro-choice is to choose to be pregnant. I'm pro-choice for myself, and I have a baby. Oh, I thought pro-choice meant you got an abortion. No, not at all. Pro-choice means you just think it's up to the woman to control their own body. Oh, wow. So I guess I'm just pro-choice then.
Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own. Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No, nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're
If you don't want to get pregnant, don't have sex and stay pure, just like the God wants it. Isn't your entire religion based upon the idea that a woman did not have sex and still got pregnant?
If you're not real, then how come I feel this way? Little baby.
I hate this country sometimes, bro. I can't fucking stand
Red, white, and blue, motherfucker. These colors don't rhyme, bitch. USA, USA.
Oh my god, you're gonna be so pissed.
This is for all the women in hostile states. Washington State just became a sanctuary state. If you need to come here for health care, we will not cooperate with your states.
If we go down, then we go down together.
I am pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
I am 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 pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice.
I mean, even though I was saved and everything, they never even had a chance, you know?
Son, gotta let go of that shit.
It's easy for you to say. I'm guessing you ain't never had to abort nobody.
A bold assumption. You ever read a book called Freakonomics?
No. What's it about? Bearded ladies and midgets?
Close. It's about economic theory, cause and effect.
Sounds boring.
It's actually a pretty good read. They have this chapter in it. Where have all the criminals gone?
Over there in that field?
You know, in the 1990s, crime fell spectacularly, and this book attributes that to the passing of Roe v. Wade.
Darkest of 73.
The exact opposite, actually. I mean, the abortions that occurred after Roe v. Wade, these were children that weren't wanted. Children who, if their mothers had been forced to have them, would have grown up poor and neglected and abused. The three most important ingredients when one is making a felon. But they were never born. So 20 years later, when they would have been of prime crime age, they weren't there. And the crime rate dropped dramatically.
What's your point?
Well, my point is that you were a meth head, white trash piece of shit, and your children, had they been born, would have been meth head, white trash pieces of shit. So by terminating those pregnancies, you spared society the scourge of your offspring. When you think about it, it's a blessing.
Never thought about it that way.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should stop punishing yourself. I mean, what does a good mother do? A good mother does what's best for her children. And maybe what was best for your children was wiping them out before they had to lead miserable fucking lives.
Roe v. Wade was just overturned. A 50-year Supreme Court precedent was overturned. A decision that gave people bodily autonomy of themselves was overturned. And a decision that saved countless lives has been overturned. You see it coming and it still hurts when it gets there. I won't speak here on why it's horrible for many, many reasons. I'll leave that to healthcare professionals and psychologists and people who have had abortions themselves. Instead, I'll give you a quick little info thing. This basically makes abortion illegal in 22 states. Most of the states are going to be in the American South and Midwest-ish. California, Washington, and Oregon have already come out saying they are going to be safe haven states, as well as Massachusetts and Illinois. And so far, Florida has not said anything, but they're still available. Thought it was important to mention because they're like the 4th most populated state. I think one of the best places you can donate is the National Network of Abortion Funds. When you donate, they split your donation evenly among so many abortion funds. You can actually they give you the list of organizations they can donate to, and you can put which ones you want to donate to. Or donate to your local one if you're living in a state that has these restrictions. There's also a bill that was introduced in Congress called the Judiciary Act of 2021, I believe 2021 or 2022. I think it was 2021. Basically asking to add 4 seats to the Supreme Court. It's only been introduced, that's it. So call your representatives, call your senators, call your cat to call your senators. I know cats can use phones, I know they can. Also, all cats are pro-choice. I'm correct in saying that. Oh man, it's hard to be funny. The Supreme Court also the other day made a decision about gun control that I'm going to go over in another video because it's a whole other thing. But I think it's important to mention because it's definitely going to be brushed under the rug. But anyways, I hope some of that information helps. And if you need an abortion, I will not drive you to Chicago to get one. I won't. I actually won't. I can't drive. I will not pay someone to drive you to Chicago. That I know, but okay.
Leave a young mother to be a mess. And since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I came from a woman. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men aspirations to shreds, another cog in the murder machine. They said I'm saying I just scare the living shit out of me.
Can't take no more, it ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, everybody.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
Thank you. I have 3 things to say about this. You've heard a lot already. There's a personal issue here. I have 7 grandkids that are girls or young women. Yesterday, they were made second-class citizens. Yes. That's bullshit. Yeah! So, 1849 law says that anybody that provides an abortion is subjected to a felony. What 1 to 6 years. Did you ever think about the word clemency? I will provide clemency to any physician. Absolutely critical. So thanks a lot, everybody.
Fuck the court and the legislature. Women are not incubators. Fuck the court and the legislature. Women are not incubators.
Coming out and protesting that they're going to abstain from sex. That was my other favorite out of this whole thing. I don't know if you've looked at, and I'm going to say this as a woman, but if you've looked at some of the women at these protests, they are doing the entire male population a freaking favor. So, continue to abstain.
Wow. I'll hand it to you. I haven't seen many people wear that much misogyny in a while. And when did Color Silk start carrying a privilege line? What do you call that shade? My husband's mistress will always have access to abortions, or shit show brown? It's nice. So here's the thing. When people don't have the cognitive ability to come up with an intelligent argument, they like to attack looks. So really all you're doing here is letting everyone know that you're not real bright. But from where I'm sitting, it seems like the men you're trying to cater to, that's how they like their women.
Sex and got pregnant, but you didn't want to be? You put yourself in that situation.
This is my impersonation of a pro-life Karen who lives in Texas. Oh my lord, isn't she pretty? This is my second baby. Congratulations, ma'am, on your beautiful baby girl. I just have some important things to tell you before I leave today. Because some complications happened during your childbirth today, we highly recommend you to wait 18 months up to 2 years before you decide to have another kid, if you plan to have one, of course. With that said, if you do have a pregnancy before 18 months, that could be very life-threatening to you and your child in the future. Oh honey, don't worry about that. I already have these 2 kids on my plate. My word. My birth control didn't work. The doctor told May that I only had a 5% chance to live if I gave birth before the 18 months. No, this is what I wanted. I wanted this. I am pro-life. I'm pro-life. I'm going to carry this out because I have no choice and die.
Yo, ignorance is such a blissful thing. It is amazing how people try to argue with paid professionals. So for the record, I am a board certified OBGYN. I have been managing pregnancies, the good and the bad, for over the past 15 years of my life. So for all you Google scholars that think it's okay to argue with me about how to manage pregnancies, so let's just take ectopic pregnancies completely out of the equation of the Roe vs. Wade argument. I'm going to give you a real life scenario that I have personally experienced with one of my patients that will completely change your thought process of this Roe vs. Wade decision. So I had a patient in her early 30s with her first baby, first pregnancy, had a normal pregnancy. After her delivery, she developed a severe case of postpartum cardiomyopathy in which her ejection fraction was 13%. This is a near-death experience in which this particular patient had to have a machine hooked up to her heart in order for it to pump correctly for her to live and function normally. Multiple doctors, including myself, forbid this woman from ever getting pregnant ever again. Due to her very poor heart functioning, she was unable to undergo any major surgery like a permanent sterilization or a tubal. So the safest thing for her to do to prevent pregnancy was to get an IUD, or intrauterine device, which is 99.7% effective. And voila, just like that, she was the 0.3% failure rate risk that got pregnant. So in this scenario, all of you people that support the Roe vs. Wade decision would say, just let God's will be done, which meant that my patient would have had probably a 90% risk of death. So for all of you all arguing about Roe vs. Wade, you want me to tell this woman that she needs to take her 10% chance of survival and let God's will be done. You have lost your damn mind. Understand real life scenarios and ask questions before making erroneous comments and arguing with people that experience this day to day. Doc for the streets, I'm out.
If you didn't hear yet, Roe v. Wade was just overturned, which makes abortion illegal in many states. This is a historical moment, and now all these babies are going to be saved. Just kidding. My mom is going to kill me for this. I was raised very Catholic. I was brainwashed into believing abortion was just the absolute worst thing you could ever do. I grew up going to pro-life marches. Then as I get older, I kind of started saying, well, I'm pro-life. I would never get one. I don't care what anyone else does. But since I've had a baby, I'm pro-choice. First of all, I spent 9 months puking my guts out. It was so bad that I couldn't drive, I couldn't stand up, I couldn't smell food without vomiting everywhere. I threw up in Walmart, I threw up in parking lots, I threw up in the car. No medicine helped me and nobody cared because it was my fault since I was the one who got pregnant. Yeah, my own family member said that to me. And all I got was judgments for being lazy, for not working while I was pregnant. It got so bad that I wanted to die every day. And then I wanted to die after too because, postpartum depression. Pregnancy is more life-threatening than skydiving. Also, no one prepares you for motherhood. It's completely romanticized. They say it takes a village, but I don't fucking have one. Where do you get a village? Bodily autonomy is gone. You have to eat to make sure you're feeding the baby the right things in breast milk. You have to not take any medications in case it goes in the breast milk. Your boobs are being borrowed by a baby all the time. I haven't slept in 8 months. Oh, and if you're sick, good luck. You can't lay in bed all day. No, the baby would die. It doesn't matter how you feel. There is no days off. I haven't spent more than an hour to myself away from my baby. I love her, but I don't remember who I am sometimes. Sometimes I just don't want to do this, and that's not an option. Don't even get me started on how hard it is to be a mom when you have mental health problems. Just forget anything you cared about, forget your personality, forget anything you ever wanted to do. It's not about you anymore, and no one cares about that either. Have trauma history or PTSD and don't like being touched? She doesn't care. She spends all day ripping my hair out, kicking me in the face, grabbing me, and I get this feeling in my spine from my PTSD, but you just deal with it. I can't even go to the bathroom alone anymore. I have to hold her on my lap. And our social and economic systems are not set up for this. There's no way they can support anybody. And I have a college degree, but going back to work, the cost of childcare would cancel it out. So what is the point? Yes, I love it and it's so hard, but the important thing is I chose it. This shouldn't be forced on anyone.
Right now, in the making, there's a push for women to lose the right to have stewardship over their own bodies. And you know what creators with millions of followers are doing about it right now? Joking about it. Here's one that I stopped following today, which I will give him some credit. I thought that generally his opinions on things were based until he shit out a particular video today, and I unfollowed so quickly because it's like, I think at that point I would rather you just not say anything at all than go out of your way to joke. It's like women are not people to them. To these people that are not only not taking this seriously, but don't fight with us. Like it's a phase. It's whatever. It's not. It's like we're losing our right to be able to take care of our bodies in the ways that we need to. Where in other countries around the world, this isn't an issue. Because it's a necessity that people have in other parts of the world. But for some reason in the United States, it can be compromised. I will say this too. Oh my God. I will say this too. If you took out religion in pro-life and what pro-life is, if you took out religion, it'd be empty. But religion is completely baked into it. Religion here, on fire. People around the world respect each other. What's happening? Why are people joking about this? And these boys, I mean, the person that I pointed out, most of his following is boys, right? And all of the boys in his comments were like, oh, here come all the triggered girls. It's like, yes. Yes. Are you blind? Are your brains made of rocks? I don't understand how this is real. How are there so little people fighting for this? It's frightening. Of course I'm triggered. It affects me. God, if you've gone out of your way to joke about this, get off this app. Like, don't bring that here. Y'all are the worst. Absolutely.
Dick's Sporting Goods has officially announced that it will provide employees up to $4,000.
Dicks are helping people get abortions.
All right, time to quit my comedy career. Wow, that was a fun ride, though, guys.
Don't ask questions you don't wanna know. Learn my lesson. Way too cool to be talking to you, but I don't know. Should I take?
Pussy, I can do what I want. I'm a big girl now. This my pussy, I can do what I want. I'm a big girl now. This my pussy, I can do what I want. I'm a big girl now. This my pussy, I can do what I want. I'm a big girl now. This my
type when everyone believes ya. What's that like? I'm so sick of running as fast as I can. Wondering if I get.
Oh, what is America doing? I'm calling them land of the free, home of the brave. So you made a time machine and went back to 1972. Is this because we overturned Roe v. Wade? Among other things, so we have decided to make America great Britain again. Not happening, sir. Here we're free and equal. If you're so equal and women can't have abortions, what medical procedure can't men have? We're just trying to save innocent babies' lives. Is that why you just loosened gun laws to make it easier for people to shoot up schools? Hey, it doesn't say anything about abortion in the Constitution. Ah, the Constitution. Why guns have more rights than women do. The Constitution is the backbone of our democracy. Of course, running a country off a 250-year-old document written by white men who owned slaves. What could go wrong? Abortion is going to be up to the states, and that's the way it is. And that is why henceforth you will be known as the divided states of embarrassment.
Are you protesters? You mean those dickheads with the signs and pictures of dead babies? Shit, no. Me and Sal Bob are pro-choice. Women's bodies are own fucking business.
Check out how similar dolphins are to humans in the first stages of embryonic development in the womb.
I posted a video saying beautiful girls only date guys with vasectomies so we can't get arrested, and everybody who's anti-choice can only make fun of the way I look. They don't have actual arguments to that. So, also he's neutered.
I can tell by the way you're looking at me, girl. I wanna make love in this club. Wanna make love in this club. Yeah, in this club. Oh.
Out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down.
I just want to get your general opinion. Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-choice. I think women have the right to decide what they want to do with their bodies, and also you never know the situation.
Pro-choice.
I don't think that I have a right to force my decision on someone else's body.
I'm pro-choice. You never know the circumstances that people are going through.
I'm pro-choice. The truth is that no one is in your body but you, and it's your life that you have to live.
I am pro-life. It's just like I was always born and raised that way. I'm Catholic, so that's the main reason.
I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice because you can't tell me what to do.
I'm pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice.
Pro-life. I don't know, that's just kind of what I grew up believing.
So you don't think the government should tell you what you can do with your body?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want the government telling you what to do with your body?
No.
Correct.
Would you agree with the idea of my body, my choice?
Of course, yeah. Once you get a certain age, you kind of know what is good for your body, what's not good for your body, and you can make decisions based on that.
So then when we're talking about vaccine mandates, government vaccine mandates, are you for or against them?
I'm for it. I'm vaccinated.
I would say that I guess I am more for a mandate if it is in support of the general health of the population.
I am for them. Yeah. I would be okay with the vaccine mandate.
I agree with government mandates.
I am for, but I see where you're going with this.
I see where you're going with this.
I have to say against because, like I said, you can't tell me what to do. You can't be pro-choice and not approve of people's choices. You know what I mean? It's a choice, so.
So then what happened to the my body, my circumstance?
I feel like that's regarding, well, I guess, you kind of caught me. That was really good.
Oh, no way. An oak tree. Guys, while I was out, I picked this flower for my girlfriend. I know she loves sunflowers. What the hell? How did a chicken get on the counter? How did it get inside? Anyways, guys, I made cheese pizza. What do you think? It looks delicious.
One of the main pro-life arguments is life begins at conception, so no matter when you do an abortion, you're taking away somebody's life that isn't yours to take away.
Great, if that's what you believe, but your beliefs end at the borders of my body. If you think it is against God, let God judge that woman. If you think it is murder, change the law, but it's illegal behavior. Also, if you are against abortion, you better be out there advocating for comprehensive sex education, free and available birth control, educating everybody about consent. Let's also add to that affordable daycare, affordable childcare, excellent schools for anybody who wants them, affordable housing. Like, you better be out there creating a world in which everybody who gets pregnant is able to care for the resulting children. Because otherwise, what you really need to do is criminalize sex.
Roe v. Wade was overturned and we are fucking screwed, cause now women by the millions don't have the right to choose. 50 years we have adhered to this fundamental right, and now most women don't even have motherfucking privacy for their body and what they want to do with it. This is a giant fucking pile of oppressive bullshit, and it's a loss for women's fucking rights we can't afford. So maybe what we have to fucking do is pack the court.
I never shot for protection from the odds. I see you lurking, bitch. Get pop hoes, we talking nonstop. I got a Baby, I'm a gangster too. It takes two to tango. You don't wanna mess with me, mess with me. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
Hi. Are you a side piece who's currently screwing a married conservative Republican? Has he promised you that he's going to eventually leave that bitch? Are you just dying to be the next Mrs. Dumbass? Well, today's your lucky day. Because of this one easy step, you're going to be well on your way to washing his underwear and becoming the step monster you always wanted to be. It's simple. Go off your birth control. Say no to the birth control. And yes, to him being more afraid of you than gun reform.
In one state, ban going to another state to get an abortion.
A lot of people are talking about this question post-Dobbs, but no one is actually talking about what part of the Constitution guarantees a right to interstate travel. So here goes. Article 4, Section 2 of the Constitution and the Privileges and Immunities Clause provides that the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. This is an interstate non-discrimination provision. It means one state can't treat the citizens of other states as aliens or as foreigners. In other words, if a citizen in Massachusetts is traveling to South Carolina has to give that citizen in Massachusetts the same civil rights, the same privileges and immunities that that state gives its own citizens. Well, if the citizens of each state have the right to enjoy the privileges and immunities of citizens in other states, that implies the right to travel to those states and enjoy those privileges and immunities. I think this means that if California offers its citizens the right to an abortion, this clause means that the citizens of other states have the right to travel to California to enjoy that privilege as well. There is a possible counter-argument to that, and I'll discuss that in my next video.
For those of you watching right now who may say, hey, all these extremes, I don't know what to do. That's not for me. I'm fiscally conservative, but socially liberal. I'm a good person. Hey, I believe you. But you don't get to sit in the middle anymore. Now is the time to pick a side. Your candidates may not be perfect. You may not like everything about them, but this is a generational issue. If you believe in a woman's right to choose, you don't have a choice this year. You must vote for pro-choice candidates up and down the ballot.
And they all fell to their knees and begged that drifter, begged him please, as he raised his fist before he spoke. I am the righteous hand of God, and I am the devil that you forgot.
Just this week, the Supreme Court, led by a majority of judges appointed by presidents that didn't win the popular vote, overturned 100 years of precedent to make it harder to regulate guns. They gave cops an ability to simply not read your Miranda rights. They forced states to include religious schools in public funding programs, and now they have destroyed 50 years of precedent to overturn Roe v. Wade. Do not come in my comments with your smug crap and say, it didn't outlaw abortion, it just lets the states decide. In Missouri and many other states with trigger laws, it did outlaw abortion at conception, literally 5 minutes after the ruling was announced. No exception for rape or incest or viability or health of the mother unless it is a medical emergency where her life is threatened. Performing an abortion is now a Class B felony in Missouri. Mothers are protected from conspiracy to induce an abortion on them, but if they self-induce, a conspiracy protection doesn't exactly do much. That means that in Missouri, if a woman has been raped, inducing an abortion the next day could possibly carry a longer sentence for you than the rapist. The people celebrating today's court ruling are not cheering for freedom or life. They are cheering for the domination of women by the state. You know, history has shown us that some states can't be left to their own devices to decide human rights. We fought a civil war about it. Make no mistake, forcing women to carry a pregnancy to full term under almost any circumstance is a violation of that human's rights.
Mary got pregnant from a kid named Tom, said he was in love. Said, don't worry about a thing, baby doll, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. But 3 months later, he said he won't date or return her call. And she swear, goddamn, if find that man cutting off his balls. And then she heads for the clinic and she gets some static walking through the door. They call her a killer and they call her a sinner and they call her a whore. God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in her shoes, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to have to choose.
So this happened. Neil Gorsuch, my baby. Oh, he's a plagiarizing queen. AWW, he voted against gay marriage. He was part of a rapist and racist frat. Since he's so pro-life, he supported a bill that...
Pro-life or pro-choice?
To be honest, it's a shorty's choice at the end of the day. And she gets a choice all times, you know what I mean? All times she gets a choice.
So pro-choice. Yeah. What about you?
Pro-choice, because at the end of the day, we know a lot of you niggas left to beg to fuck. So guess why you're gonna get her pregnant?
That's
right?
true.
There's rapists out here too.
You know what I'm saying? I want her to have whatever, she decides whatever happens. I'm gonna give my input, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Wake up!
That's okay. Killing babies is wrong. It's murder. Why don't you protect them from conception and natural death that are millions is on your side? Why do you think women need to kill their babies, huh? Why do you think it's not babies to be eaten? We're not going to stop until abortion is outlawed in every single state in the nation. We're not going to stop abortion. We're going to do it outlaw abortion every single state.
I am not okay with going back to 1950. My uterus, my body, my choice, and I am here for every woman that couldn't come to Washington today.
I am 74 years old and I'm a retiree. I was about 20 when Roe became law. I've watched several generations of women grow in freedom, and I'm revolted by the injustice of this court and the hypocrisy that gives states the right to regulate guns, but to not regulate guns, but to think that they can regulate women's bodies. So I'm here to protest.
Their choice! Their choice! Their choice!
As a young mom, knowing that if any type of situation occurs where I might have to have an abortion, that I might have to go through a whole lot more legal action when it's my body, it's my decisions, it's my choices. I shouldn't have to go through processes or asking permission to be able to get the help that I need for myself personally.
I think that we took a huge step backwards. I am just sickened. I feel like I was punched in the stomach this morning, and I am actually very happy to be in DC, to be here to protest my thoughts.
I'm sick and tired of having to come here for so many years and still protest what's really my right.